Dr. Alex Martinez wiped the sweat from his forehead as he finished checking his medical supplies. The small medical bay aboard the diplomatic ship Harmony was quiet, just the way he liked it. No emergencies meant everyone was healthy and safe. He had been working as a field medic for 3 years now, traveling between human colonies and alien worlds to provide medical care wherever it was needed. The communication panel on the wall suddenly came to life with a sharp beeping sound. Alex looked up from his equipment cabinet and walked over to answer the call. The face that appeared on the screen belonged to Captain Lisa Carter, the ship's commanding officer. "Alex, we just received an urgent distress signal from the Zephyrian Royal Fleet," Captain Carter said. Her voice was tense. "They're requesting immediate medical assistance. Someone important has been injured badly." Alex raised his eyebrows. The Zephyrians rarely asked humans for help, especially when it came to medical matters. They had always believed their technology was far superior to anything humans could offer. "How badly injured are we talking about, Captain?" "It wouldn't give us details over the comm channel, but they said it was a matter of life and death. We're the closest medical vessel to their location." "Can you handle treating a Zephyrian?" Alex nodded without hesitation. "I've treated dozens of different alien species. Zephyrians have a similar basic biology to humans, just with some key differences in their cellular structure and organ placement. I can work with that." "Good, we're changing course now. We'll reach their coordinates in 2 hours." The screen went dark, leaving Alex alone with his thoughts. He had never treated Zephyrian royalty before, but medicine was medicine. Every living being deserved care when they were hurt, regardless of their species or social status. Alex spent the next hour reviewing everything he knew about Zephyrian anatomy. Their skin had a blue-green tint and was tougher than human skin. Their hearts were located slightly lower in their chest cavity, and they had an extra organ that helped filter toxins from their blood. Most importantly, they were highly sensitive to certain human medications that could be deadly to them. When the Harmony arrived at the coordinates, Alex saw 3 massive Zephyrian warships waiting in space. The ships were dark blue with silver markings, and each one was twice the size of the Harmony. A small shuttlecraft was already approaching their ship. Captain Carter's voice came through the speakers. "Alex, get ready. They're sending someone over to brief you on the situation." Alex gathered his portable medical kit and headed to the shuttle bay. When the Zephyrian shuttle docked, 2 tall figures in dark uniforms stepped out. Zephyrians were generally about 7 feet tall, with long limbs and large dark eyes. The one in front spoke in accented but clear English. "I am Commander Zix of the Royal Guard. We need your help immediately. Our patient has been injured by a weapon we cannot identify, and our medical staff cannot stop the damage it is causing." Alex shouldered his medical bag. "What kind of weapon? Some type of energy weapon that is causing cellular breakdown?" "Wait. Believe it may be of human origin, which is why we called for human medical assistance." The shuttle ride to the Zephyrian flagship took only a few minutes, but Alex could see the urgency in the faces of his escorts. When they arrived, he was quickly led through corridors filled with nervous-looking Zephyrian soldiers and medical personnel. The medical bay on the Zephyrian ship was impressive. Advanced machines hummed quietly while holographic displays showed complex medical data. But all the technology in the galaxy couldn't hide the fact that the patient lying on the central bed was dying. Alex approached the bed and saw a young Zephyrian female. She was smaller than most Zephyrians he had seen, probably in her early 20s by human standards. Her blue-green skin had turned a sickly gray color. Strange dark veins were spreading across her arms and chest like a web. "This is Princess Lyra Veltar, daughter of King Theron," Commander Zix said quietly. "She was investigating reports of illegal activities on a mining station when she was attacked." Alex set down his medical bag and immediately began examining the princess. Her pulse was weak and irregular. The dark veins under her skin were spreading, slowly but steadily. He had never seen anything like it before. But the pattern reminded him of cellular poisoning cases he had treated in human patients. "What have your doctors tried so far?" Alex asked as he pulled out his portable scanner. A Zephyrian doctor stepped forward. "We have used every treatment in our medical database. Cellular regeneration therapy, toxin filters, even experimental treatments. Nothing is working. The damage continues to spread. Alex ran his scanner over the princess's arm, where the dark veins were most visible. The readings showed massive cellular damage at the molecular level. How whatever had hit her was breaking down her cells from the inside out? But there was something familiar about the pattern. This looks like radiation poisoning, but not from any natural source, Alex said, studying the scanner readings. The cellular breakdown is too specific, too targeted. Someone designed this weapon to kill slowly. He looked at the Zephyrian medical team. Your treatments aren't working because you're trying to repair the damage instead of stopping the cause. This weapon left some kind of active component in her system that keeps causing more damage. Commander Zix leaned forward. Can you stop it? Alex was already reaching into his medical bag for supplies. Maybe human medicine takes a different approach than Zephyrian medicine. Sometimes simple solutions work better than complex ones. Princess Lyra's eyes fluttered open as Alex prepared his first treatment. Despite her pain, she managed to speak in a weak voice. You're human. Yes, Your Highness. I'm Dr. Alex Martinez. I'm going to try to help you. She smiled slightly. Father says humans are too primitive to understand real medicine. Alex smiled back as he prepared an injection. Let's see if this primitive human can prove him wrong. Alex worked quickly, his hands steady despite the pressure. He injected a simple human-made chemical compound into Princess Lyra's arm. The Zephyrian doctors watched with doubt in their large, dark eyes. They had used their most advanced technology and failed. How could this primitive human treatment succeed where they had not? What is that substance? Asked Dr. Keth, the lead Zephyrian physician. His voice carried both curiosity and skepticism. It's a basic chelation agent, Alex replied, monitoring the princess's vital signs on his portable scanner. In simple terms, it grabs onto foreign metals and chemicals in the blood and helps the body get rid of them. Use it to treat heavy metal poisoning in humans. Double quotes, Dr. Keth looked confused. But our scans showed no metal contamination. Alex shook his head. Your scans were looking for large amounts of known toxic metals. This weapon uses microscopic particles of an unknown alloy. They're so small your equipment read them as cellular debris, not foreign objects. Within minutes, the dark veins spreading across Princess Lyra's skin began to slow their advance. The princess herself seemed to breathe a little easier, though. She was still very weak. It's working, whispered one of the Zephyrian nurses. But Alex wasn't celebrating yet. This is just the first step. The chelation agent will stop new damage, but we need to repair what's already been destroyed. Princess, can you tell me exactly what happened during the attack? Princess Lyra's voice was still weak, but she managed. To speak clearly, I was investigating illegal weapons sales on Mining Station 7. Someone had been selling human-made weapons to rebels in the outer colonies. When I got too close to the truth, they tried to kill me. Commander Zix stepped forward, Your Highness. You should not have gone there alone. It was too dangerous. The princess tried to sit up, but Alex gently pushed her back down. I couldn't trust anyone in the palace. Too many people have been bought and paid for by the weapons dealers. I had to see the evidence myself. Alex continued his treatment while listening to her story. He was using a combination of human medical techniques that seemed primitive compared to Zephyrian technology, but they were working. He applied a specially designed gel that would help her skin heal faster and set up an IV drip with nutrients her body needed to rebuild damaged cells. The person who shot me knew exactly what weapon to use, Princess Lyra continued. They knew it would be hard for Zephyrian doctors to treat. They wanted me to die slowly, probably to send a message to others who might try to investigate. Doctor, Keth watched Alex work with growing amazement. How did you know to use these treatments? Our medical computers suggested nothing like this. Alex smiled as he adjusted the IV flow. Human medicine developed differently than yours. We didn't always have advanced technology, so we learned to use what we had. Sometimes the old ways work better than the new ones. Over the next several hours, Alex stayed by the princess's bedside. He monitored her condition constantly, adjusting treatments as needed. The Zephyrian medical staff watched and learned, taking notes on everything he did. Princess Lyra's condition slowly improved. The dark veins stopped spreading completely and began to fade. Her skin color returned to its normal blue-green shade. Her breathing became stronger and more regular. "You're going to live," Alex told her during one of her conscious moments. "But you need to rest and let your body heal." "Thank you," she said quietly. "I've never met a human before. My father always said humans were too simple to understand complex problems." Alex chuckled as he checked her pulse. "Well, sometimes simple solutions work for complex problems. Your father might be surprised to learn that." As word spread through the ship that the princess was recovering, more Zephyrian officers came too. See the human doctor who had saved their royal family member? Alex found himself explaining his treatments to groups of curious medical staff and military personnel. "The key was not trying to fight the weapon with advanced technology," Alex explained to a group of doctors. "Instead, I used basic chemistry to neutralize the toxic particles, then supported the body's natural healing processes. Sometimes the simplest approach is the most effective." Dr. Keth nodded thoughtfully. "We were so focused on using our most advanced treatments that we overlooked basic medical principles. This is very educational." On the second day, Princess Lyra was strong enough to sit up and eat solid food. She seemed genuinely interested in learning about Alex and human medicine. "Tell me about your work," she said as Alex changed the dressing. On her arm, where the worst damage had been, "How did you learn to treat so many different species?" Alex smiled. "I've always believed that all living things are more similar than they are different. Pain is pain, healing is healing, whether you're human, Zephyrian, or any other species. The basic principles of medicine work everywhere." "That's a very wise way to think," the princess said. "I wish more people in both our governments understood that." Alex was curious about her comment, but before he could ask more questions, Commander Zix entered the medical bay with urgent news. "Your Highness, we have received word that your father, King Theron, is coming here personally. He will arrive tomorrow morning." Princess Lyra's face showed worry. "He's going to be very angry with me for investigating on my own." "Maybe," Alex said as he finished changing her bandage, "but he's also going to be very grateful that you're alive. Parents worry about their children no matter what species they are." The princess smiled, but Alex could see she was still concerned about facing her father. He had a feeling that the real challenges were just beginning. Saving the princesses. Life had been the easy part. Now, he would have to face the most powerful ruler in the Zephyrian Empire. The next morning, Alex was checking Princess Lyra's vital signs when the entire ship seemed to shake. Through the medical bay windows, he could see a massive Zephyrian vessel approaching. It was 3 times larger than the ship they were on, with golden markings that gleamed in the starlight. "That's the royal flagship," Princess Lyra said, her voice tight with worry. "My father has arrived." Commander Zix entered the medical bay, his usual calm demeanor replaced by obvious nervousness. "Your Highness, King Theron requests your immediate presence in the main conference room." "You as well, Dr. Martinez." Alex helped Princess Lyra to her feet. She was much stronger now, but still needed support when walking. "Are you sure you're ready for this?" he asked quietly. "I have to be," she replied. "My father doesn't wait for anyone, not even injured daughters," and the walk to the conference room felt longer than it actually was. Alex had never met alien royalty before, and he wasn't sure what to expect. The corridors were filled with royal guards in ceremonial armor, their weapons clearly visible. When they entered the conference room, Alex immediately understood why King Theron was considered one of the most powerful rulers in the galaxy.
"Oh, boss."
Zephyrian King stood nearly 8 feet tall, broader than most of his species, with darker skin that showed his age and experience. His eyes held intelligence and authority that made Alex feel like he was being examined under a microscope.
"Ow."
"Daughter," King Theron said, his voice deep and commanding, "you have caused me great worry and anger." Princess Lyra straightened her shoulders despite her weakness. "Father, I can explain everything." "You will explain," the king said firmly. "First, I must speak with the human who saved your life." King Theron turned his attention to Alex. The weight of his gaze was intense, but Alex met it steadily. He had learned long ago that showing fear never helped in difficult situations. "Dr. Martinez," the king said, "my medical advisors tell me that you succeeded where our most advanced physicians failed. They also tell me you used primitive human techniques that should not have worked. Alex chose his words carefully. Your Majesty, I used the techniques that seemed most appropriate for the type of injury your daughter suffered. Sometimes simple methods are more effective than complex ones. The king walked slowly around Alex, studying him. My daughter says you treated her with respect and kindness, despite having no obligation to help our people. Why? Because she needed help, Alex replied simply. That's what doctors do. We help people who are hurt, regardless of who they are or where they come from. King Theron stopped walking and faced Alex directly. You realize that my daughter is next in line to rule the Zephyrian Empire? Her life is worth more than entire star systems to my people. Alex nodded. I understand she's important to you and your people, your Majesty. But to me, she was simply a patient who needed medical care. I would have done the same for anyone. Something changed in the king's expression. The hard lines around his eyes softened slightly. Interesting. Most people who meet me spend their time trying to gain favor or advantage. You seem genuinely uninterested in political gain. I'm a doctor, not a politician, Alex said. My job is healing, not deal-making, King. Theron turned to his daughter. Now, Lyra, explain to me why you risked your life investigating weapons dealers instead of using proper diplomatic channels. Princess Lyra took a deep breath. Father, I tried to report my suspicions through normal channels, but nothing happened. I began to suspect that some of our own officials were involved in the illegal weapons trade. The king's expression darkened. You suspect members of my government? I have proof, Princess Lyra said, pulling out a small data device from her pocket. I recorded conversations and gathered evidence before I was attacked. The weapons being sold include advanced human technology that should not be available to criminals. Alex watched the family discussion with interest. He was beginning to understand that this was about more than just medical treatment. Princess Lyra had uncovered something that could affect relations between humans and Zephyrians. King Theron took the data device and studied it. These are serious accusations, daughter. If true, they mean we have traitors in high positions. Why I couldn't trust anyone else with the investigation, Princess Lyra explained. I was getting close to identifying the main conspirators when they tried to kill me. The king looked at Alex. Dr. Martinez, you have heard sensitive information about Zephyrian internal affairs. Can I trust you to keep this confidential? Alex nodded. Doctor-patient confidentiality applies to everything I learn while treating someone. I won't repeat anything I've heard here. Good, the king said, because I may need your help with more than just medical treatment. Princess Lyra looked surprised. Father, what do you mean? King Theron walked to the large window overlooking space. If there truly are conspirators in my government, I need people I can trust, absolutely. Dr. Martinez has proven his integrity by saving your life without seeking reward. That makes him more trustworthy than many of my own advisors. Alex felt uncomfortable with the direction the conversation was taking. Your Majesty, I'm honored by your trust, but I'm just a medic. I don't know anything about political investigations, perhaps. Not, the king said, turning back to face them. But you know about human technology and weapons. If humans are involved in this conspiracy, your knowledge could be valuable. Princess Lyra stepped forward carefully.
Father.
Dr. Martinez has already done more than enough.
Alice.
He saved my life when your own doctors couldn't. You shouldn't ask him to risk his safety for our political problems. King Theron studied both his daughter and Alex for a long moment. You both show wisdom and loyalty. These are rare qualities in my experience. He paused, then continued. Dr. Martinez, I have a proposal for you. Stay here as my daughter's personal physician while she recovers and help us understand the human technology being used by these criminals. In return, I will ensure your safety and provide you access to our medical knowledge. Alex looked at Princess Lyra, who nodded encouragingly. He realized this was an opportunity to learn about advanced alien medicine while helping solve a problem that affected both species. I accept your proposal, Your Majesty, Alex said. But I want it understood that my primary responsibility is to your daughter's medical care. King Theron smiled for the first time since arriving. Agreed, Doctor. Let us see what a human medic can teach us about solving impossible problems. 3 days later, Princess Lyra was strong enough to walk around the ship without help. Alex had been staying in guest quarters near the medical bay, studying Zephyrian medical technology during his free time. The advanced equipment fascinated him, but he was more interested in helping solve the weapons conspiracy. Dr. Martinez, Princess Lyra said as she entered the medical bay where Alex was reviewing data files. Yes, I've been thinking about our investigation. I need to show you something. She activated a holographic display that showed detailed images of various weapons. Alex recognized some of them as human-made, but others looked like combinations of human and alien technology. These are the weapons I found being sold on the mining station, she explained. The energy weapon that nearly killed me was one of these hybrid designs. Alex studied the images carefully. His medical knowledge helped him understand how these weapons were designed to cause maximum damage to living tissue. These aren't just weapons, he said. They're specifically designed to kill different alien species in the most painful way possible. Princess Lyra nodded grimly. That's what makes this conspiracy so dangerous. Someone is creating weapons designed to cause fear and suffering, not just death. Who would have the knowledge to design something like this? Alex asked. That's what we need to find out, she replied. I have access codes that will let us search the Royal Intelligence Database. We can look for connections between human weapons, manufacturers, and Zephyrian officials. Alex felt nervous about accessing classified information, but he knew the conspiracy needed to be stopped. What exactly are we looking for? Princess Lyra began entering commands into the computer system. Financial records, communication logs, shipping manifests, anything that shows suspicious connections between our governments. For the next several hours, they searched through thousands of files. Alex used his medical access codes to examine records from various space stations and colonies, while Princess Lyra looked through diplomatic and military communications. Let's look at this, Princess Lyra said, pointing to a series of financial transactions on her screen. Large payments from a company called Stellar Defense Solutions to several Zephyrian officials, including General Vex of the Royal Military. Alex recognized the company name. Stellar Defense Solutions is a major human weapons manufacturer. They have contracts with several human colonies for defense systems. But why would they be paying money to Zephyrian military officers? Princess Lyra asked. Alex studied the payment records more carefully. These payments coincide with relaxed inspection schedules at border checkpoints. Someone is being paid to look the other way while illegal weapon shipments pass through. Princess Lyra pulled up more files. It gets worse. Look at these shipping records. The weapons aren't just going to criminals and rebels. Some of them are going to legitimate governments who don't know they're buying stolen or illegal technology. Alex felt his stomach tighten as he realized the full scope of the conspiracy. This could start wars between species. If governments discover they've been sold faulty or dangerous weapons, they might blame each other instead of the real criminals. Exactly, Princess Lyra said. That's probably the real goal. Create chaos and conflict while making huge profits from weapons sales. Suddenly, the door to the medical bay opened, and Commander Zix entered quickly. His face showed urgent concern. Your Highness, we have a problem, he said. Our communication systems detected someone trying to access this terminal remotely. I think we've been discovered. Princess Lyra immediately began shutting down the computer system. How much time do we have? Unknown, Commander Zix replied. But I recommend moving to a more secure location immediately. Alex grabbed his medical bag while Princess Lyra gathered the data files they had been studying. As they prepared to leave, Alex noticed something on one of the computer screens that made him stop. Wait, he said, pointing to a medical record that was still open. This shows that General Vex received treatment for radiation exposure 3 weeks ago. The same type of radiation signature that was in the weapon used on you. Princess Lyra looked at the medical record with wide eyes. He was testing the weapon personally. General Vex is one of the main conspirators. Commander Zix urged them toward the door. We need to leave now. I'm detecting movement in the corridors that suggests we're about to have unwelcome visitors. As they moved through the ship's corridors, Alex could hear the sound of boots marching in formation somewhere nearby. The royal guards who were supposed to protect Princess Lyra seemed to be avoiding their usual patrol routes. Commander Princess, Lyra said quietly, "How many people can we trust on this ship?" "I'm not sure, Your Highness," Commander Zix replied. "If General Vex is involved, he could have people everywhere." They reached a small conference room that Commander Zix said was secure from electronic surveillance. Once inside, Princess Lyra activated a portable communication device. "I need to contact my father immediately," she said. "He needs to know about General Vex." But when she tried to establish communication with King Theron, only static came through the speakers. Someone was jamming their communications. Alex realized their situation was becoming dangerous very quickly. If they're blocking communications, it means they're planning to move against us soon. Princess Lyra looked determined despite the danger. "We have enough evidence to expose the conspiracy, but we need to get it to people we can trust." Commander Zix checked his weapon and looked toward the door. "I can get you both to an escape pod, but we'll have to move fast." "No," Princess Lyra said firmly. "If we run now, they'll destroy all the evidence and continue their plans. We need to find a way to broadcast this information to everyone at once." Alex thought about their options. His medical knowledge had helped save Princess Lyra's life and uncover the conspiracy. Maybe it could help them escape this trap as well. "What if we don't run?" Alex suggested. "What if we make them come too? Us, but on our terms." Princess Lyra looked at him with interest. "What do you have in mind?" Alex smiled as he opened his medical bag. "Well, I am a doctor. Doctors know how to make people very sick very quickly." Alex quickly pulled several vials from his medical bag and began mixing chemicals together. Princess Lyra and Commander Zix watched with confusion as he worked. "What are you doing?" Princess Lyra asked. "Creating a distraction," Alex replied, carefully measuring out precise amounts of different compounds. "This mixture will create a gas that's harmless to humans and Zephyrians, but it has some very unpleasant temporary effects." Commander Zix looked skeptical. "What kind of effects?" Alex smiled as he sealed the mixture in a small container. "Severe nausea, dizziness, and temporary blindness. It won't hurt anyone permanently, but it will make them very sick for about an hour." The sound of footsteps in the corridor outside was getting closer. Alex could hear voices giving orders in the Zephyrian language. "They're almost here," Commander Zix whispered, drawing his weapon. Alex attached a small timer to his chemical mixture. "When I release this gas, we'll have maybe 10 minutes before it disperses enough to be safe. So that should be enough time too. Get to the main communication center." Princess Lyra looked uncertain. "Are you sure this will work?" "Trust me," Alex said. "I've used similar compounds to treat patients with severe allergic reactions. I know exactly how they affect Zephyrian biology." The door to the conference room suddenly burst open. 6 armed guards in black uniforms entered, led by a tall Zephyrian officer with silver markings on his armor. Alex recognized him from the files they had been studying. "General Vex," Princess Lyra said coldly. The general smiled without warmth. "Your Highness, Dr. Martinez. You have been very busy looking at things that do not concern you." Commander Zix kept his weapon pointed at the general. "Stand down, General. You're committing treason against the royal family." General Vex laughed. "The royal family has become weak, caring too much about peace with inferior species like humans. It is time for new leadership." Alex slowly moved his hand toward the chemical device, trying not to draw attention to his movement. "You poisoned me with that weapon," Princess Lyra said angrily. "You tried to murder the heir to the throne? Tried to eliminate a problem?" General Vex replied. "Your investigation was getting too close to our operation. We have spent years building a network that will make us rich while weakening the bonds between our species and theirs." "Why?" Alex asked, genuinely curious about the general's motivations. General Vex turned his attention to Alex. "Because humans, like you, are a threat to Zephyrian superiority. You saved the princess using primitive medicine that our advanced doctors could not match. That makes other Zephyrians question whether we are truly the superior species." Alex shook his head. "Medicine isn't about being superior. It's about helping people." "Your naive thinking is exactly the problem," General Vex said. "But you will not be spreading such ideas much longer." The general raised his weapon, but Alex was ready. He activated the timer on his chemical device and threw it toward the group of guards. Everyone, hold your breath, Alex shouted to Princess Lyra and Commander Zix. The small container released a cloud of invisible gas that quickly filled the room. Within seconds, the guards began coughing and stumbling. General Vex doubled over, clutching his stomach as waves of nausea hit him. "Now," Alex said, grabbing Princess Lyra's hand and pulling her toward the door. The three of them ran through the corridors, while behind them they could hear the guards vomiting and calling for help. Alex's chemical mixture was working exactly as he had planned. "The main communication center is 3 levels up," Commander Zix said as they reached an elevator. "Will we have enough time?" Princess Lyra asked. Alex checked his watch. "We have about 6 minutes before the effects wear off, and they can follow us." The elevator seemed to take forever to reach the upper level. When the doors opened, they found themselves facing 2 more guards who were not affected by the gas cloud. Commander Zix immediately fired his weapon, stunning both guards before they could raise an alarm. "This way," he said, leading them down another corridor. The communication center was a large room filled with complex equipment for sending messages across the galaxy. Alex was amazed by the advanced technology, but Princess Lyra went straight to the main control panel. "I can broadcast our evidence to every major government in this sector," she said, her fingers flying over the controls. But I need a few minutes to override the security systems." Alex watched the door nervously. "How long do we have?" 3 minutes, maybe 4. Princess Lyra replied, sweat beading on her forehead as she worked. Commander Zix took a position by the door with his weapon. "Ready?" "I can hear movement in the corridors. They're recovering from your chemical attack." Alex pulled out another vial from his medical bag. "I have one more surprise if they find us." Princess Lyra looked up from the control panel. "What is it this time?" "Something that will put them to sleep very quickly," Alex said with a grin. "The advantage of being a doctor is knowing exactly which chemicals affect which species." The lights on the control panel turned green, indicating that Princess Lyra had successfully overridden the security systems. "I'm in," she announced. "Uploading all our evidence now." The door to the communication center suddenly exploded inward. General Vex and a dozen guards rushed in, but they looked sick and unsteady from Alex's earlier chemical attack. "Stop the transmission," General Vex ordered, his voice weak, but still commanding. Princess Lyra kept working at the controls. 40% uploaded, she said. Alex threw his second chemical device toward the approaching guards. This time, sweet-smelling gas filled the room. The guards began to slow down as the sleep-inducing compound took effect. 60%, Princess Lyra called out. General Vex managed to reach the control panel despite the gas. But he was moving like he was walking through thick mud. He raised his weapon toward Princess Lyra. Commander Zix fired his weapon, hitting the general in the shoulder and spinning him around. 80%, Princess Lyra said. Alex watched as the guards collapsed one by one, overcome by his sleeping gas. Even General Vex was swaying on his feet, fighting to stay conscious. 100%, Princess Lyra announced triumphantly. The evidence has been sent to every major government in the sector. General Vex made one last desperate attempt to reach them, but the sleeping gas finally overcame him, and he collapsed to the floor. Alex. Princess Lyra and Commander Zix stood in the communication center, surrounded by unconscious conspirators. Is it over? Alex asked. Princess Lyra smiled. The hard part is, now we just have to explain everything to my father. 2 weeks later, Alex stood in the grand throne room of the Zephyrian royal palace. The massive chamber was filled with hundreds of nobles, military officers, and government officials. Golden pillars reached up to a ceiling painted with scenes of Zephyrian history, and banners from across the empire hung from the walls. King Theron sat on his throne, which was carved from a single piece of blue crystal that seemed to glow with inner light. Princess Lyra stood beside her father, fully recovered from her injuries and wearing formal royal robes. Alex felt very small in his simple human clothing among all the grandeur. Citizens of the Zephyrian Empire, King Theron's voice boomed across the chamber. We are gathered today to honor someone who has served our people with courage and wisdom. Alex shifted nervously as hundreds of alien eyes focused on him. He had expected a simple thank you ceremony, not this massive public event. Dr. Alex Martinez, the king continued, not only saved the life of Princess Lyra, but also helped expose a conspiracy that threatened the peace between our species and yours. The crowd murmured with interest. News of the weapons conspiracy had spread quickly after Princess Lyra's broadcast. Several high-ranking officials had been arrested, and investigations were ongoing in both human and Zephyrian territories. General, Vex and his conspirators have been tried and found guilty of treason, King Theron announced. Their illegal weapons operation has been destroyed, and the stolen technology has been returned to its rightful owners. Alex was glad to hear that justice had been served, but he still didn't understand why he was being honored in such a public way. He had simply done his job as a doctor. King Theron stood up from his throne and walked down the steps toward Alex. Dr. Martinez, your actions have shown my people that humans possess qualities we had not fully appreciated. Your medical skill, your integrity, and your courage have earned the respect of our entire empire. The king stopped directly in front of Alex. In recognition of your service to the royal family and to the cause of peace between our peoples, I hereby grant you a reward that has never before been given to a non-Zephyrian. Alex felt his heart racing. What could the king possibly give him that would require such a ceremony? King Theron raised his voice so everyone in the chamber could hear clearly. I name you Alex Martinez, Healer Prince of the Zephyrian Empire. With all the rights and privileges that title carries. The crowd gasped in surprise. Alex stared at the king in shock. Your Majesty, I don't understand. What does that mean? Princess Lyra stepped forward with a smile. It means you are now officially part of our royal family, Alex. You have the same status as a prince of the empire. Alex felt dizzy, but I'm human. How can I be Zephyrian royalty? King Theron placed a large hand on Alex's shoulder. The title of Healer Prince is ancient, created for those who serve the royal family with exceptional skill and loyalty. It has not been awarded for over 200 years, because no one has been worthy of it. What does this title allow me to do? Alex asked, still trying to process what was happening. Many things, King Theron replied. You will have access to all Zephyrian medical technology and research. You can establish medical exchange programs between our species. You will serve as the royal family's personal physician with authority to make medical decisions for any member of the royal house. Princess Lyra added, you will also have diplomatic status, which means you can serve as an official representative between human and Zephyrian governments. Alex realized the enormous responsibility being placed on him. Your Majesty, I'm honored, but I'm just a simple field medic. I don't know anything about diplomacy or politics. King Theron smiled. That is exactly why you are perfect for this role. Politicians think about advantage and profit. Think about helping people and solving problems. That is what we need. King gestured to an aide, who brought forward a beautiful blue and silver medallion on a chain. This is the symbol of your new office, King Theron said as he placed the chain around Alex's neck. Wear it with pride. Alex looked down at the medallion. It was carved with symbols he didn't recognize, but it felt heavy with the weight of responsibility. There is one more thing, Princess Lyra said. As Healer Prince, you will have your own medical facility built wherever you choose. You can use it to train doctors from both species and develop new treatments. Alex thought about all the good he could do with access to advanced alien medical technology. He could help treat diseases that currently had no cure. He could train other doctors to work with different alien species. The possibilities were endless. I accept this honor, Alex said formally, and I promise to use it to help people, regardless of their species. The crowd erupted in cheers and applause. Alex was surprised to see that the Zephyrian nobles seemed genuinely happy about his appointment. After the ceremony, Alex found himself surrounded by Zephyrian officials wanting to meet the new Healer Prince. Princess Lyra stayed close to help him navigate the conversations. Are you overwhelmed? She asked during a quiet moment. Alex nodded. A few weeks ago, I was just treating routine injuries on a diplomatic ship. Now I'm a prince of an alien empire. It doesn't seem real. Princess Lyra smiled. You saved my life and helped stop a war between our peoples. You've earned this recognition. What happens now? Alex asked. Now you get to work, she replied. We have medical facilities to build, exchange programs to create, and diplomatic relations to strengthen. Are you ready for the challenge? Alex looked around the throne room at all the Zephyrian nobles, who were now treating him as an equal. He thought about the advanced medical technology he would have access to, and all the lives he could save with. I'm ready, he said with confidence. Let's get started. King Theron approached them with a document in his hand. Your first official duty as healer, Prince, he said. I need you to review plans for a new medical research station that will be jointly operated by human and Zephyrian doctors. Alex took the document and began reading. His simple act of treating an injured patient had led to something far greater than he had ever imagined. It was no longer just a field medic. It was now a bridge between two species, working to build a better future for everyone. As he studied the research station plans, Alex smiled. This was going to be the most challenging and rewarding work of his life.